Anyways, for beating levels in hard mode, you unlock calories. Talking about game making, concept art, interesting design choices, switching from yellow to green, which looks cute. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, all of them. Not only looped when the world got destroyed by God, but since they beat God, it's not looping anymore. Or so the world only had 101 loops, and after that there would have been no more loops. Did they kill God in loop 100 or loop 101? That's a heavy question. Because if they managed to beat him in loop 101, kill God in loop 101. There we go. It doesn't have that much impact if they beat him on loop 100. It has to get really close to the finish line. Last minute victory and all that jazz. And the higher-ups, once you're gone, they exile you to work in the tunnels. Ulo Surka is a rare example of a tunnel runner volunteer who joined the maintenance crew to reunite with her undead friend. Her drone does not appear in the cutscenes because of hard mode and because I'm too lazy to draw it. Still a cute drone. The pup. The Popsicle. Sofia Zmora died from electrocution on her first day in the tunnels and came back as a shocker-type ghost. Not much to say about this one. She's just a very mean ghost with glasses. Back when she was supposed to be the only ghost in the game, her element was going to be fire, and she summoned minions. Other ghosts ended up inheriting her original abilities. Halfway through the manga, the world got destroyed, and the main character went to the next loop using the arc. I don't know why, but Sophia's glasses reminds me of a mask. Yeah, I can kind of see it. Like a weird sort of domino mask. That's what they're called, right? Since the costume is purple, it reminds me of Tattletale. And Tattletale does wear a domino mask. Also probably the very thick frames. Sorry, now I'm trying to think of other cool mask designs. After the events of the game, Zmora and Usterka became a famous duo, often teaming up against powerful wraiths. Ghosts feed on human emotions like anger and pain, but they can feed on love as well. Unfortunately, only the most obnoxious people tend to come back as ghosts, and undeath does not make them any more likable. Wait, so... halfway through the manga, the world got destroyed. What loop was it before that, and what loop did it become? Wish we got to see more characters with normal weapons. Define normal weapon. Like a normal, regular-looking sword? Like a normal-looking claymore? Or like normal tools and items that are not necessarily weapons, not conventional weapons. Like, for example, wire cutters. Giant wire cutters and bolt cutters. Originally, story started on loop 100 and got destroyed, and then she went to loop 101. So we start at the finish line. Good lord. Like a sword or claymore. Do you really not see enough, like, normal swords? Only fantasy-looking swords? Damn. I mean, you can spice up a normal sword by giving it an interesting hilt. Like a decorated hilt. Or interestingly carved hilt. Oh, in worm! Did we really not see swords? The only one I can remember on is mouse protector. And the only other sword I do remember is from Chevalier, but those swords don't really count because it's a fucking giant slab of meat. Meat. Metal. Meat and metal share the same letters. What other characters? Are there any other characters that use normal ass swords? I don't think Miss Militia doesn't count since she's technically isn't using a real gun. Machetes? She uses machetes. Yeah, but no, it's not a real ass machete, it's a construct? Let's call them constructs. Carolyn Cutwire was cut in half by automatic doors, and now, somehow, she's shorter. And there are two of her. I wanted to give Cutwire a projectile that would slowly follow behind the player, but I couldn't figure out how it was supposed to look. Until I realized I could just turn the projectile itself into another ghost. Cutwire 1 and Cutwire 2. Nikita, no problem. I had her design and gameplay figured out, but I had no idea what her personality was supposed to be. I've tested the violent brute and the insolent punk. The current version is more of a crazy, motherly type. However, since it was last-minute decision, her character is not explored well in the game. I can only think of a small handful of characters with weapons. Jack Slash uses normal weapons, but uses them by being super enhanced with ludicrous range, so I wouldn't say he counts. Regent has a trick scepter slash taser. That's something. Tattletale Taylor foil briefly when she had brass knuckles as a hero, and Jack Slash and Gravel. Telltale and Taylor because Telltale and Taylor, yes. Regular old knife and gun that she borrowed from Trickster. For some reason, I always think that she is still using the same gun she got from Trickster. I don't know why. Non-characters who use their powers to alter already existing weapons. Fair. Who was Gravel? I completely forgot. To this day, Nikita and the Cut Warriors relentlessly haunt Sector F, regularly coming up with new strategies to catch the Sturka. Wow, Russian names. When the shields are up, they chill in the lower tunnels, playing macaw. Cut Warriors are notorious cheaters and take immense pleasures from bullying their colleague. Yaga woke up one day with a dream. Harem full of ghost girls. It was a glorious success at first, but after 20 years, her dream had gone sour. The legends say her Sector A harem consists of all the most dangerous, ultra-tier ghosts that no other tunnel runner can deal with. Initially, she was going to be a huge, muscular guy called Wraithtaker. Gravel is the cape we see during Gold Morning who was able to 1v1 Cyan for a couple of minutes. He was wielding a hammer, right? I think he was wielding a massive hammer. He uses a magic sledgehammer. I wonder how big actual sledgehammers can get. Like, what's the biggest sledgehammer created that it was actually used? What's the biggest sledgehammers that is actually functional and is being used? That's my question. Dr. Sylvia Striga died from failure of her artificial heart and became a rare scrapper-type ghost. I wanted her to look horrifying and intimidating compared to the cute girls you faced so far, but I messed it up. I should have made her way more grotesque. I'm sure she looks very scary when using her full power. We just never get to see it in the game. Maybe make her not have eyelids. Not having eyelids makes any face very scary. Yaga and Striga eventually made up, temporarily, over their shared passion for denatured. In case it's not clear, you should not drink denatured alcohol. Even one glass can result in permanent blindness or death. Yaga is a fictional character and has an illegal artificial liver transplant anyway, and Striga is already dead. And now comes the recipe, because every single game by this creator has to have a cool recipe. This is Tunnel Runner's cooking show. I'm Jagoda Jeksidich, though you might know me as Baba Yaga from Sector A. I have with me Ula Osterska from Sector F. She'll show us how she makes her signature pudding pies. For the pie dough, we will need around 250 grams of flour, 60 grams of powdered sugar, 125 grams of butter, and 3 eggs. Shout out to Ula's moms who generously stole all this from the luxurious pantry of Queen Bitch Albina Awaria herself. I don't know how to describe his power well, but kind of imagine the Siberian that can imbue his weapons with his invulnerability, also making that weapon hit a lot harder in the process. Making the weapons like mini Siberians? Now I have the mental image of mini Siberians. Mini Siberians that can dig into your body and rip you to shreds from the inside. Hooray! First, we need to separate the egg yolks from the whites. The recipe does not need egg white for anything, so we will store it in the fridge and use it when making scrambled eggs for breakfast the next day. We combine all the ingredients in a bowl and make the dough by hand. If you read Cooking with Helltaker Volume 2, Apple Pie, you're already more than familiar with the process of making pie dough. You just beat the shit out of it. You beat the shit out of it really hard because it's also butter in it, but you still have to beat the shit out of it. I don't think it would be considered mini considering how large that weapon is. Fair. Large sledgehammers, chainsaws, knives, any form of heavy-duty tool. Various sizes for basically indestructible weapons. Now I'm thinking of a Matryoshka, a Siberian shaped Matryoshka of various sizes. A whole family of Siberians, going from extremely tall to like switchblade sized. After you're done, you can throw the dough at your local splitter type ghost. They won't be able to resist the need to cut it in half. Both halves are going to rest in the fridge while we work on the pudding. We will need 2 eggs, once again, only their yolks, 200 milliliters of milk, 25 grams of butter, 15 grams of vanilla sugar, 1 tablespoon of flour, and 1 tablespoon of potato starch. I wonder how much Ula's mom would charge me for a bottle of cheap honey liquor. Siberian honestly would be scary if she was tiny. Again, she can dig through your body. She can rip apart your heart from the inside. She can make cooked liver by going inside your liver and like detonating a very small Molotov. Yeah, I guess that could work. Yeah, detonate like a firebomb inside your liver, and then you have cooked liver, and then she eats your cooked liver from the inside. Imagine a tiny Siberian having a wonderful feast inside your body. You are dead, by the way. I don't think you would survive very long with an explosion going off inside your liver. 1/3 of the milk will mix in a glass with flour, starch, and egg yolks. To prevent flour from forming into lumps, stir it with the heavy-duty pneumatic power drill available in every sector, or with a simple fork. In the meantime, cook the remaining 2/3 of the milk with vanilla sugar. Looking back at some of the caves makes you really enjoy the powers, like Narwhal, who made shields, if I remember correctly. I still... Oh my god, what's the sentence I'm trying to make? I still think about Scapegoat. Like, he has a really neat costume, but also... boy, the amount of pain he's in. Crystal shields that were immense and limited so she could put it inside people's body. Cool! Sliced, cooked, liver! Hooray! I don't know why I'm so fixated on the liver. Because I just read the sentence with the word liver on it. There we go. Once the sugar has melted, we can add in the flour mix we prepared. Lastly, we add the butter. Keep on the heat and stir at all times. Just make sure you don't drill through the pot. We are done once the butter melts and the pudding gets thick. Let it cool for now. She could also make those shields any shape and launch them at 40 miles per hour. 40 miles per hour, that is... not bullet fast, but... definitely a bit faster than a baseball. So, ouch. I think. But what's the record for the fastest baseball thrown? I mean, there was the time a baseball player managed to evaporate a bird from thin air with a baseball. So... yeah, no. Yeah, any shape, launch them at 40 miles per hour. It doesn't even have to be baseball shaped, it can be like cone shaped. It can be like... I was gonna say cinder block shape, but the shape of a cinder block doesn't add anything to the weight of it. Unless you want to be flashy. If you want to be flashy, throw cinder block shaped shields at people. Why not? Make it fancy. Make it silly. Have fun with it. Next we need to roll the dough. It's what I would have said if we didn't have this convenient hydraulic press available in every sector. The first half of the dough will form the bottom of the pies, while the second half will be used to close them from the top. We can use an empty glass to cut out the same amount of dough every time. Then we press the dough into the tart molds. Depending on the size and depth of your molds, you may end up with anything between 10 to 20 pies. Fastest thrown is 105 miles per hour, but that's not the average. The average is around 90. Okay, more concussion than, oh god, my skull is broken. More shove you around a lot if you have some form of resistance to damage, unless... oh god, my ribs are actually broken, how did that happen? I'm supposed to be super strong. Next, we fill up the pies with spoonfuls of pudding and close them with dough. Push your thumb on the edges to seal them and remove all the excess dough. You will end up with lots of leftover dough after this part. Combine it together and make additional pies if you still have pudding to spare. Now we could put them in a 180 degrees oven for 25 minutes or employ a smelter type toast to bake them pyrokinetically. Just keep in mind that they tend to overbake stuff. Stop them before the pies start to get visibly darker at the edges. Pies will crumble to pieces if you try to take them off their molds immediately after baking. Instead, give them some time to cool down and harden. This was Tunnel Runner's cooking show. Join us next time when I'll teach you how to extract alcohol from generator fuel with a loaf of bread. Don't try it and extract alcohol from generator fuel, please. Yay! Oh god, that took longer than I expected. Ah, whatever. It's nice to, actually finish showcasing a game anyways. Beep and boop. Switching game. This one is definitely gonna be shorter. Probably. Depends on how hooked in I get. She didn't do it, but she could have also done this to Leviathan. To some extent, she couldn't have just put it in the core. Why wouldn't she be able to put it in the core? If she knew where the core was in the first place.